Believe in your fairy tale to make your zing come true. Debbie Glickman and Dhana Cohen know it, and this is the show. It's time for Believe in Your Fairy Tale to make your zing come true. And now, here are your hosts, Debbie Glickman and Dhana Cohen.
Happy Tuesday!
It's still snowing, by the way, in Chicago.
Well, it melted, and now it's back. It's back.
But it is pretty. You have to.
I know. I liked it better than when it was raining and yucky the other day.
Right? Absolutely.
Okay, so we're actually dressed today.
We talk like.
We have makeup.
No,
it's not that we're naked. We just are showered and we have makeup on today.
Right, we do.
Because we're being filmed.
I know.
For a very special documentary that, we'll be able to give you details on later.
So what's your name again?
I'm Debbie Glickman from Fairy Tale Wishes. And what about you?
Dhana Cohen from The Next Big Zing. Give me about 2 weeks and it's going to be redesign time, all done.
I'm so excited for
Finally.
you. I know. Well, rock and roll. We have a jam-packed show today. And so we're getting right into it. And there's no more clicking on our show anymore. So
we're
now
sorry about that, folks.
Yeah, we had to switch computers, but that's okay.
The Red Bull.
So we have somebody in our studio today who has grown up in the town that I grew up in, Highland Park, Illinois, and she is the mayoral candidate. We've got a lot of mayoral elections going on here in Chicago, and the actual Chicago mayor is being elected today, which is very exciting, hopefully, right?
Yep.
And in our studio today, we have mayoral candidate Nancy Rodkin Rotering. Woo!
Hello.
I'd like to say the future mayor of Highland Park because she's my girl.
A girl can dream.
A girl can. No, you're like, I'm so excited. I said the last time I saw you, I bumped into you at Northbrook Court
with a ton of kids,
and I said, Nance, are you going to run? I don't know. I'm thinking about it. I'm like, you got to run.
Did the two of you grow up together, or how do you know
actually,
each other?
her little sister was the object of my little brother's affection at Brayside School and Mrs. Worth's. Was it Mrs. Worth? Is that what her name was at Brayside School?
I don't remember who it was, but I do remember eggs being thrown at the house at one point as a showing of affection.
From my brother? Was it my brother?
Absolutely.
Oh my
that Michael Blywan.
That Michael Blywan. Honest to God. I'm going to have to call him up after this.
Like toilet paper around the trees. Eggs, very hard to get off.
Eggs are, and he found out.
Oh my.
He got a call from the tank, my dad.
God. Seriously, that is a story that I did not even know about.
Isn't that crazy?
That's a good story.
Something to use later if needed.
And it will be. Any chance that I can get to, rib my little brother. But that's my family's history with the Rodkin family. So we've been intertwined for many, many years. Right. Yes. So, we were talking before the show about what we wanted to talk about, and, what we like to do on this show is to talk to people who are really trying to make a positive difference in this world with whatever they're doing. Uh-huh. And running for mayor is no small task. And especially you've got 4 boys.
I do.
And you have a busy house because I only have 1 boy and 1 girl, and my house is a nutso. So I can't even imagine what it's like for you.
It's good.
And it's all good. It's fun. I mean, I love it when my house is filled with kids. But, saying all of that, you decided that you wanted to try and make a positive difference in our own community.
Right.
And how did that come to be?
How did that come to be? It came to be actually with a stop sign.
Oh,
and there was an intersection near my house, and for the kids to walk to school, they had to cross through sort of an unstable intersection. And I said, I got to do something. So I rallied the neighbors, and we marched down City Hall, and we had our stop sign put in so the kids could walk to school safely, and the kids could be at the bus stop safely. And that was sort of where it all began.
Isn't it interesting? Right. It's all about your children and getting them taken care of in a community. You may not have known what you had to go through to get to that place. So was it tough to get the town to rally around the stop sign?
It was a lot of hard work. It was a lot of ringing doorbells, talking about the situation, asking people if they agreed that there was a need, and then putting it all together and literally going before a commission and going before the city council. And we put packets together and lobbied everybody. I mean, it really was a full-on process for a stop sign. But at the end of the day, it made a difference.
Right.
And,
How long ago was that?
in 2000.
Wow.
So it's been a while.
So at that time, did you say, I have to do something in this town? I have to run for council? What else? I mean, was that the pivotal moment that made you change your direction?
It's sort of funny, but for my whole life, I've been maybe the bossy older sister who sees something and says, I think I can do something about this if it's a problem, and looking for a solution and bringing it about in a positive way, but just sort of making the difference. So whether it was helping people with legal issues, I'm a lawyer by training, and doing that on a pro bono basis, or creating an environmental education program in the school system because I felt like the kids needed to learn how to also bring positive change to the world.
Which they're more of like the environmental crazy people than we are, because we didn't grow up with it. But if I put something in the wrong trash bin, I get yelled at.
You can blame me.
That's okay. You know what? I think it's phenomenal because nobody's too old to learn to take care of our environment.
And to be honest, that was sort of where we got started, was let's reach the parents through the kids, right? Because all of our interests, or a lot of our interests and our involvement with our community, comes from our children, from their activities, whether it's scouting or soccer or whatever it may be. We get involved with our community through our kids. And I've talked to a lot of people who say, once their kids are out of school, they sort of feel a little detached from things. So it sort of is up to us as parents who are sort of in the swim at the moment to pick up the baton.
How do you talk to your kids about that? I mean, do they get involved? I'm sure they're really excited to have you in this high-powered running this election. So how do you get your kids involved?
My kids are excited that Nancy's here. I mean, my daughter, who doesn't ever clean up anything, she's like, Mom, do you need me to clean up the kitchen today? Because Nancy's coming.
Oh, that's so funny.
It was so
Can she come over to my house?
Yeah, exactly. She doesn't ever clean up my house, but, she knew that you were coming.
Oh, tell her she did an awesome job.
I will tell her, yes.
But, it's sort of how we've always raised our kids. And they were part of that whole first step with the stop sign. I mean, they said it's kind of scary. We almost are getting hit by cars and stuff. And so it sort of came from their suggestion that we went ahead with it. So it's sort of in their blood. I mean, I think they've been...
Did you find with the stop sign incident, I always find this to be very interesting, that after you brought it to your neighbor's attention and you were knocking on doors, and even the people that may not have school-age children were saying to themselves, I've thought about that stop sign.
Absolutely.
But because I think that there are chiefs and there are Indians, right?
Sure.
And I think that it takes a lot of courage to get out there and be the chief. I do, because not only does it take courage, but it takes such a big effort. I'm sorry for my dogs, yelling, screaming, barking, whatever he's doing.
He wants to be part of the
I know he does. He gets very jealous.
We'll give him
he's supporting Nancy. But I always found that there are people, once you get them involved in the process, that they were like, God, I'm so glad somebody decided to do something about that. Did you find?
That absolutely was sort of the pivotal point, because we were kind of running into a little resistance, and people were saying, another over-concerned mother needing yet another stop sign. And then a senior citizen from our neighborhood stood up and said, you know what, we need stability at this corner. It's just too dangerous.
Wow.
And clearly she had enough incidents, but just had never really gotten around to it.
Mm-hmm.
And it was across the spectrum of the ages. The kids got up and spoke, and the seniors, and everybody in between. So it did work out really nicely. It did. And what we were finding with this campaign is sort of a similar situation of people who I know through the schools, or I know through the kids' activities, and also just neighbors or people that I've gotten to know over the years who've called me for help with council issues. They're all coming on board.
Right.
So we've got a really neat and diverse volunteer pool. I mean, we were sort of looking at all of our big players, the people who really have been participating, and there is no characteristic other than they live in this community. I mean, it just is such a broad spectrum, politically, economically, background-wise, everything.
And people I think that more and more people are understanding that you can make a difference. One person getting involved. I think that a long time ago, you would think to yourself, what can I do? I mean, what is my one little person able to do?
Right.
Right, exactly. And I think that I don't know if it's President Obama's initiative to tell people to get involved in your community and volunteer, and he's got such a wonderful way about him that encourages people to do that. But I think that people are really understanding that by getting involved, that they can really make a difference in the place where they live positively.
I absolutely agree. And I think part of it, too, also comes in a unique way from the economy situation. That people are feeling like we tried to follow the rules, we tried to do what was expected of us, things aren't quite turning out the way that we had hoped, so here's an opportunity for me to have some impact on my world. Whether it's within your community or within your neighborhood or wherever, I just think that that's something else that's kind of gotten people's attention. They feel that they have a voice. They feel that they need to be heard. And they can't just sit back and let somebody else take care of things anymore.
Isn't that the truth?
Buy in and be part of the process.
It is the truth. I mean, I feel that in my school and my school district that we want to, especially I've gone through something with my daughter, and I understand how important it is to advocate for your children.
Right.
How important it is that you're the only person that can really advocate for your own child.
Right.
And as a community member, we are the only people that can advocate for our own community, right?
Exactly.
It's very true.
Exactly.
So we're going to take a break in a few minutes, but when we come back, I'd love to talk to you about some of the things, the visions that you have for our little town, and then maybe touch on, for people that don't live in Highland Park where we are, of how you can get involved in your own community by taking baby steps, and maybe one day you'll run for mayor yourself.
There you go.
Absolutely.
Does that sound like a great plan?
I think it's a great idea.
I do too. I have no idea how much time we have left because Carrie's saying 1 minute, but here come the tunes. I'll be right back.